All right, so I'm coming through hot too. Whew. We talk louder than the last people who
We're
were sitting
excitable.
there. Yeah. All right, so we were debating the difference between the bald and the beardiful, or the beardo and the weirdo for the names of this show.
Yes, I think I couldn't decide if I liked weirdo or beardo being first.
A little closer.
Okay, I think I like.
Yeah, that moves. You don't have to. You don't have to lean in quite as much.
Yeah, that's a little
But
better.
the further you are back, the more background noise it's going to pick up.
Got it.
Because it just goes for wherever the sound's coming from. So if it has to look for it, it's going to pick up that.
That makes
sense.
sense.
If it doesn't, it'll block it.
So I watched this show called Ted Lasso. It's really fucking popular, but it's about European soccer. Well, European football. I call it fucking soccer because I'm a goddamn American.
That's right.
And their microphones are weird. Like when they show the sportscasters calling the matches, they've got this thing that sits on their lip, so they hold it right directly to their lip, and then it's this far from the mic.
Probably to block out the crowd noise.
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, it makes sense.
But it's what you're saying. So it's like they hold.
Yeah.
I mean, they're swallowing that fucker. You know what I mean? Like it is on their lip, and so they and it keeps you consistent in your distance.
Might be getting too horny.
Yeah, and it keeps you consistent on your distance, right? It's always touching your lips,
Yeah.
so that thing's never more than. So, anyways, that's what made me think of. So I think I like the Weirdo and Beardo podcast better for the reasons that I said. It sounds sillier and more fun, which I like.
We always like that. You know? We're silly, sometimes fun, sometimes annoying guys.
Yeah,
you know?
like I like weird being right in the name because it sounds like something entertaining. Like that's bald and beardiful. I feel like it's male grooming tips.
It's funny because of the bold and the beautiful, obviously.
Right, but that's what everyone thinks it is.
But that's the only thing.
Anytime I've told someone what the name of it is, they're like, "Oh yeah, the Bold and the Beautiful." Wasn't that a soap opera? I'm like, "God damn it!" Like that's the problem.
See, and that's because you're not the bearded one. See, every time I say it, people get it right away.
That's probably true. I didn't think of that. That makes
So,
sense.
like,
But you'd think they'd get the bald part right, and they still think it's bold.
you'd fucking think so. But, you know.
So I liked the silliness piece of it better. I like the fact that it rhymes because I'm fucking stupid like that.
Yeah. That's funny, though.
And I think I think it's more memorable to people. I ran it by some people last night, and everyone liked it better. So
All right.
that's the pivot.
You know, I can't fight with you about this, but I want to.
Yeah. And it literally, it's just enough people were just like, what's it called? Like, I'm just like, fuck it. I want to make it easy, and no one's going to fuck up the Weirdo and Beardo podcast.
That's true.
It just rolls off the tongue.
It does.
All right, cool. I'm glad you're on board with that. So
Can I be the beardo?
you should be the Beardo. Because if I grow mine, they're going to call this the Moses podcast, my gray ass fucking...
You pretty gray on? I mean, I can see it a little bit.
If I grow it, it's funny. It doesn't look like I might be so gray sitting the way it sits right now because the dark hairs are all in my goatee.
Yeah.
But as soon as I grow out the cheeks and the longer it gets, the grayer it gets.
That makes sense.
So if mine was as long as you, it'd be 80% salt, 20% pepper.
Yeah. Mine for sure gets grayer as it gets longer. I was thinking about maybe darkening it a little bit.
Yours would look good
You know?
darker, I think, because your
Like,
hair,
just-
it's browner than your hair.
Well, because there's reds in there. So there's still the blacks,
what it
but there's
is.
reds in there.
Yeah.
And then the grays seem to grow faster and thicker. Like it's just a more coarse fucking hair than the other colors.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really make sense.
I don't get it either. But like looking at your hair, you're right. You've got a red tinge to the beard, but your hair is very dark.
Yeah. So I was thinking about switching off my body hair for just a second.
I don't want to, but that's fine, I guess, if we have to.
I was thinking about another part for a set that I think I could work it in pretty well. So it's basically a story. So true story. Got into a lift. This is a while back, but we were driving from Phoenix out to Mesa, and so he goes, "Oh, it's a African dude, you know, and from Africa." And he goes, "Oh,
so redhead."
He goes, "Oh, it will be a long one." And I said, "That was a horrible accent," but I said,
"Was it like African?"
I said, "That's what she said." And he turns around completely while driving and looks at me and he goes, "Who? Who said this to you?"
It wasn't meant to be this literal. That's the best response ever, though.
Who said this to you?
What did you say?
And it was so like, to you.
Yeah.
I said, no one. It's just something I say.
Because he's like, because it's short.
Correct
and
response
tiny.
would have been like, your mom, bitch, you know, or
Yeah,
something
right.
like.
Although
Pulls over and beats my ass.
it's rude for her to talk with her mouth full. That's seriously funny. Like the fact that he turned around and got aggressive with it. Like,
Oh yeah. Who said this to you?
That's so creepy. It's freaking me out.
It was amazing.
And I wasn't even there.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
The next time someone says that's what she said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm adopting that into my world.
Who
said this to you?
Yeah. So I think I could work that in.
I like it.
Like it's along the same lines of what I do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And how unprepared were you for that response? Like, that's crazy. Because everyone just laughs and goes, yep. That's it.
Yeah.
Evidently, this dude has never seen The Office.
Yeah. Or heard anyone
Repeat it.
in America
Ever.
speak.
Yeah, that's not a slang
said this
saying
to you?
in Africa. They don't have that yet.
No.
That's funny.
Yeah, they haven't brought The Office to Nigeria yet.
That's great. I was thinking about something really funny actually on the way over here because I was talking to a buddy of mine, and this particular friend is what I call the party one-upper. And what I mean by that is whatever I'm thinking for a party, they just want to go gangster on whatever that version. So I'll give you an idea. So like if I were to call this cat and say, hey man, why don't we go sit on a patio somewhere and have a couple of beers? His response would be, why don't we go sit on that patio and drink tequila shots, right? Which is fine, right? The problem is if I escalate it in any way, he goes over the fucking top.
Yeah.
So like if I were to say, hey, I've got concert tickets, I'm thinking about eating some gummies, he'd be like, we should put acid in our dick holes. You know what I mean? He would come so over the top. And you're like, whoa, 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 bro.
Is it AK?
Easy.
Is that the friend?
He it's not, but I could see how you would think that. Like, because I actually have a couple of friends that are like this.
Yeah.
But
We tend to attract people like that.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, anytime I'm trying to casually have a couple of drinks, this dude's trying to give me a fentanyl suppository.
Yeah.
Like, how hardcore do we need to be? Bro, like, pump the fucking brakes. But it's so funny. It's like some guys just haven't aged at all. Like, I've just slowed down, man. I can't get after it like I used to. I'm 53. I feel it.
Yeah.
I get tired, right?
You're definitely slowing down sexually.
Obviously, right? You know, I got to be home in time for Jeopardy, right? So it's like I'm not out late. But, you know, some guys, they just haven't they haven't slowed down at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I'm not 20. I can't roll like that anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just,
I got faith in you still.
yeah, I mean, you know, I pick and choose my spots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, this buddy is always just like, whatever my idea is, he's just like, that would be good. More is better.
More is always better.
Yeah.
But, you know.
So, but it's just funny. It's always, no matter what my idea is, I think I'm going to have to come in really low to just get him to a normal beers on the patio. I should be like, hey, we should get together and drink Kool-Aid. And then he'd be like, well, what if we had some beers? I agree.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. You're smarter than I am. Good job. I think that's my plan moving forward. Let's meet for coffee. Let's have some. Let's drink some old fashions. Okay.
Coffee over at Oso.
Yeah. Let's have. Yeah. They got a cold brew. It'll be great. It's 140 in
great
Phoenix.
coffee.
Yeah. Who the fuck wants hot? You know, I'm getting to that point right now. I'm a big coffee guy, right? But like, you know, now that it's 100 degrees every day.
Yeah.
Early in the morning is one thing, but like I go outside with the dogs even mid-morning and it's 94 already. Like I don't want a fucking hot beverage, so I start smashing the cold brews now, you know?
Yeah.
But I've made that flip. I'm cold brewing it now. I crushed one on the way here.
Yeah. Was it good?
Yeah, those it's they're cold right off the bat, which is
Talking
good.
about the little cans?
Yeah, this was the little guy.
Yeah. Not in this thing.
No, not this guy.
You got Kool-Aid, obviously.
Yeah, that'd be impressive. Yeah, Kool-Aid. I drink 3 of those a day. But the little guys are good. I don't get anything sweet, and so it's all just. But that little can's got 150 milligrams of caffeine, so it's a little boost ski without being hot. You know?
Yeah. My problem is I like my coffee kind of sweet. You know?
Yeah. See, I don't like anything sweet at all ever.
Yeah.
Although I've had some of like the flavor, like you know, at the grocery store, Starbucks sells some sort of flavored cold brew that it tastes like a milkshake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is it's yummy. It's just not what I'm trying to do. My doctor said I'm not allowed to smash that much sugar anymore.
What?
They said, which led me to something else. So I've been working on a bit lately. I've thought about a bit. Maybe you can help me flesh it out.
Yeah.
But
Was that a bit what you did before with the one-upper?
Yeah.
Because that works.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it actually in June. I've just been thinking
I stopped interrupting you with my jokes because I was like, oh no, he's got somewhere he's going.
Yeah,
he's not just talking to me.
No, I talked to this dude, and a version of that happened, and I thought about all of the one-up party guys that I've known in my life, and so I definitely
your life is filled with them.
Filled with them. Yeah, I attract psychopaths. I always have, dude. I attract psychopaths.
Yeah.
Something about my energy.
Yeah.
It's because I'm cool with it, right? Birds of a feather.
Yeah.
What was I talking about?
Another bit.
Yes, I'm going to do that bit.
Sorry. And then you have another one. Maybe we could flush it out.
Yep, we did, and now I don't remember what it was. Oh, I do now. So I go and see a naturopath and get blood drawn once a quarter, and she gives me the breakdown on, hey, this is good, this isn't so good. Mostly, I'm trying to keep an eye on the prostate cancer because I'm of that age.
Yeah, I can check that for you
Yeah,
anytime.
where doctors are jamming things in
Sorry,
the butts.
I'm interrupting you.
Yeah, no, you're good. But the last time that I went, she's just like, hey, your blood sugar's getting high. You're actually pre-diabetic. And I'm just like, oh. So I started thinking about that. I'm like, pre-diabetic. So I'm thinking, like, are there other preconditions that we can prepare for?
There we go.
And I don't have it really built out yet, but I know there's a lot of meat on the bone with this.
Yeah.
Like, are you?
Yeah, some pre-con.
Are you? Yeah. Are you pre-racist? Could you be pre-gay? Like, what are the signs that tell you? You know what I mean? So I'm thinking there's a bit somewhere around. Not just being pre-diabetic, but could I be pre-fucking, I don't know, Alzheimer's? Like I forget the fucking, where I'm at, you know what I mean? I don't know. But I think that there should be other conditions that are pre to kind of give you the heads up.
Yeah.
I feel like we're only using that for diabetes and there should be more.
Yeah, when you shave your face completely, you're pre-transgender.
Yes. Now I think a normal person would actually try to focus on their diet and not being pre-diabetic. But for me, I instantly just started thinking of jokes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So there's that, but I do think that there's probably some good shit out there about.
Did that hippie doctor think that any of this was funny, or did you not bring it up to her?
No, I didn't bring it up to her. She probably would have liked it though, and she's not as hippie as you would think for being a natural person. Yeah, she's kind of normal. She's cute.
I just associate them like wearing a dress that they knit themselves, and you know, long hair and
eating mushrooms out of a bag,
hair in the armpits.
Yeah,
just very natural woman. Wearing sandals for sure, even in the snow.
Birkenstocks all the way. Yeah, looking like Peppermint Patty from Charlie Brown. No, she's actually normal looking, really cool. And I like the fact that they actually try to treat like the cause of things and not just take this.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you won't feel pain.
Yeah.
And not that I'm against any of that, but I like the combination of it too. Yeah. So, anyways, I want to figure out some other preconditions that I think there's some humor around.
Yeah.
And I probably should do something about my diet as well.
Wow. I think you're all right.
Yeah, I'm fine. Maybe it's
Do you really?
Maybe it's the Kool-Aid.
The words of Ricky Bobby. Like, I know I'm not going to live forever, but I figure with modern science and my high level of income, I'll hit 300.
220, 230 is definitely within play. That shit's great.
Because why not?
Modern science and my high level of income.
My high level of income.
Did I just watch Step Brothers the other day?
I just watched it again with my son for the first time.
Oh, did he like it? How old is your son?
12.
Oh yeah, that shit was high level hot comedy to him.
Yeah.
Dude,
like,
hope you don't move around in your sleep. Why? Because I'm gonna put a rat trap between your legs.
I mean, the way I saw it, like, a lot of what I wouldn't want him seeing either went over his head, or he's just more advanced than I was at 12.
For sure.
You know?
For sure he is.
I mean,
better
no
watch
doubt.
it with you.
Yeah.
Right? Better watch it with you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that movie's just, I feel like it's underrated. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Compared to some of the other Farrell movies. And I liked it. I like John C. Reilly a ton too. He's so great with Farrell in those movies.
Mm-hmm.
But what's great about that movie for me is that I had that exact experience growing up because my mom got remarried when I was 8 or 9, you know what I mean? I think like 8. And I had a stepbrother who was like my exact age, 6 months older. Okay. So like that moment in the movie when they first meet and they're standing in the yard and he's just like, yeah, my name's so-and-so, but you have to call me Dragon. Right? I had that exact moment. I know all about that feeling. Like you're trying to one-up them and be cool and like prove that you're badass and all this kind of stuff. And now you're moving into this house together and like there's this like, alpha fucking thing that's going on even though you're 8 years old. And I remember the moment where we fucking turned it around and we're like, oh, we're actually going to be buddies in this. Like if we stick together against these two, we're way better off than fucking each other here. Like we got to get together.
Well, there's a handful of people who I thought I would hate, and then I ended up really liking them.
Yeah.
Like Shark.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've told him it too. I'm not,
Yeah.
Shark for sure. That's a big one. I think I always liked AK. I always liked you. I didn't think I was going to like Jonathan initially, DeVries.
Yeah.
But then I really liked him. He was, again,
So
super cool.
the moral is you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, kind of.
Well, I suppose, but I like judging.
It's easier. It's easier to just make a quick decision and move on.
Well,
like you're in, you're out, fuck off.
The way I see it, if I think the worst of everyone initially, then when I come around to kind of like them, Like, I feel like I've made a lot of strides in my personal life at that point.
Oh, keep the bar low.
Yeah.
And then when you're a normal dude, you feel like you're just killing it.
Yeah, fucking killing it.
Manage expectations. That's genius.
Yeah. And then I'm like, man, I'm a good person.
Yeah. Yeah. Look how far I've come.
You know?
In accepting this idiot.
So what do you think of we painted the room black. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't. What color was it?
Like beige.
How the fuck do I
But there was
notice
that flag back there before and
Oh,
stuff too.
that could be it. Yeah. What
We had that
what I'm
backdrop.
seeing,
But yeah, it's
And then the glow sticks.
yeah, well, we've had those. So sometimes I pretend they're lightsabers, but
Yeah, I can see that.
they don't always flash like this. I'm not sure how well that's going to show up on camera, but
I feel like we need to
Who the
play like
fuck
some
cares?
house music or something in here and just
Yeah.
with these things on. You and I suck on pacifiers and put our hair in pigtails.
yeah.
It's a party. Eat a little Molly.
Hopefully we don't have a seizure. you know?
Whatever the kids call it nowadays.
What do they call that nowadays?
No, dude, this.
Yeah, we got to click on
What
that
is up
and
with
see
the
what it is.
Smurf milking machine?
Yeah.
The well-hung Smurfs. Let's be honest; those dicks are the size of a Smurf.
I'm pretty sure they're condoms, though.
Were they?
I don't
condoms?
know.
It says the most satisfying machines. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I bet it jerks everyone off.
Okay, let's turn the sound off, and then why don't we just try to assess what's going on based on...
With no sound?
Yeah.
Okay, it says satisfying machine. So, it's 40 minutes of satisfying machines.
Okay.
I don't know how long it's going to take to get to
Yeah.
the blue dicks.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. I mean, it's a great thumbnail, though. Well done on that,
Yeah, it just looks like.
guys.
Look
you
at
know,
the ass.
but-
Did you see this?
Yeah, that's a big one.
That is
for
a-
a gymnast.
Booty. All right.
1 in a million moments in sports. It's a
that,
fat
that,
ass.
That
on the
ass is
thing.
1 in a million, that's for sure. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Look at that. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that is a big butt.
That is a big butt.
Yeah, I'm not pissed about it.
No, I'm not mad
I mean,
about it.
I don't know that I'd be thrilled either, but I'm not pissed.
It's better than the thumbnail of blue dicks
Yeah. Well.
by a little.
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close. It was a lot of dicks.
Yeah. Still want to go search for Papa Smurf tonight, but you know,
Yeah.
see if the reality lives up to the hype.
What the fuck was that thing?
I don't know, but we'll never know now.
Yeah,
You know.
it was a good thought for a minute.
So I saw one of the funniest Rogan clips. I actually don't know if it was a Rogan clip or not because it was animated, but it was clearly Bert talking to Rogan. Which, by the way, the machine comes out this weekend.
Can't wait.
But the the clip was Rogan and Bert talking, and Bert's telling a story. He goes, "Have you met Tom's kids?" He said, "No, not yet." He said, "Well, I went over to Tom's house, and I was sitting there, and Tom said that he was doing whatever. So he goes, have a seat." And so his kid walks up with a cup of water, and he said, "Hey, Bert, hey bud, you want a glass of water?" And he said, "Sure, yeah, I've been on the plane all day. It's been very nice of you." And then Tom walks in and goes, wait, where'd you get that?" And he goes, "From the sink." He said, "You're not tall enough to reach the sink. You got that out of the toilet, didn't you?" Yes, no. And Bert goes, "Did you get that out of the toilet?" And he goes, "No." And he said, "You drink it first. You drink it first, and I'll drink the rest." He goes, "No." No. They go back and forth for a while, and then Tom goes and checks the bathroom. There's a fucking
Trail of
water coming out of the toilet and down the hallway.
I love that's his first thought is here. You're not tall enough to reach the sink. That's amazing.
How great is that?
That is incredible. Because Bert would have just chugged it.
Yeah,
He'd have made it Kool-Aid.
toilet water.
Dude, so I'm glad the machine's coming out. I'm glad you reminded me about
Yeah.
that because I'm excited. Dude, the funniest part in that story of the machine, well, hold on. Let me just tell you this. The first time I saw Bert tell the machine story was at Tempe Improv.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And so it was.
How had you not seen that and you were seeing him live?
Yeah, it was weird.
That is odd.
I was just getting into Crush. This is a while back. But the weird part was I called up there. They said it's sold out, but I wanted to go. So they're like, well, sometimes people don't show up. If you come, there's a chance you could get a ticket. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. It's worth it. So we decided to give it a shot. We drive up there and they're like, well, we only have a couple people in front of you. So honestly, I can't promise you, but I think there's a good chance you're going to get tickets. So we're just like, all right,
good
fuck it.
shot.
Yeah, so we went into the bar, had a drink, whatever, and they call me 5 minutes later. I hadn't even finished a beer. And they're like, hey, we got tickets for you. Come with us. I was like, awesome, buy them. We walk in, it's packed. Bert's just taken off his shirt.
Oh,
right.
So you didn't even get to see the opening act. So
Yeah, I don't know if there was an opening act.
How is there not?
Yeah, you would think so, but I don't know if there was or not. And so, dude, we walk in. Bert's just starting, just taking his shirt off. They walk us and sit me. If you're Bert, I sit here. On the stage, row 1. I'm like, God damn, I'm the last guy here. And they walk me in, and Bert literally just looks at me and just goes, what's up, man? Because I'm sitting right in front of him. He's got his shirt off. And he's in the middle of telling a joke about shit in his pants. Yeah. And that's what I remember. I remember sitting down and like looking up at him. He's like, yeah, that's right. Welcome to the show. And I'm like, hey, man. And I sat this close to him while he's telling the machine story. And literally, if I went to say something to my wife, he was like commenting about it. I was so close to him, And so I hear that story for the first time. And I think the funniest part of that story is when he talks about robbing the other students on the train.
Yeah.
They make him go and steal from these other kids. That's fucking great.
Now, have you seen the episode of Rogan where it's the first time Rogan hears the story from him? And it's Rogan's.
That's got to be amazing.
Rogan's fault that he started telling it on set.
Oh, Rogan told him you got to tell this story.
Yeah, so he went on the podcast, and this was way back, like old studio, like not even the old one in LA, but like before that. And he goes, hey, so some people told me you need to tell the story of the machine. I haven't heard it, or of the robbing the train. I think that's what they called it then, right? And he says no, and so he tells it, and Rogan's like, no, you have to. And then Bert talks about it. He's like, yeah, it went horribly for so long, but I kept doing it because Rogan had said it on the podcast. When people came to see him, they would chant it.
The machine.
Yeah. And so he had to start telling it. He had to impromptu abandon half of his set.
Yeah, because it's like a 20-minute story.
Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, so it was hard working through it, making a 15-minute story funny consistently. And I could appreciate that. Having done it,
But the story in itself is so interesting and so bizarre. Like, it's entertaining even if you didn't tell a bunch of jokes about it. It's an entertaining story.
The first time I saw it, I thought it was mostly bullshit, but it was still funny.
Yeah.
But then, the more I've learned about it, I think that it's mostly true.
Even these guys sound like fuck the cops. Like, these thugs just running shit in Russia. You know what I mean?
That was the other thing. He couldn't figure out a place to end it.
Yeah.
Like a punchline to end it on,
Well, and he was such a partier back then.
I don't know if it's just back then.
Yeah, I think he still is. But I mean, he was crazy back then, right? On the cover of Rolling Stone and shit. They did it, you know what I mean? He like won the contest as like frat boy party god of the country, you know what I mean? And so they found a guy that could go toe to toe drinking Russia with the fucking mob.
Yeah.
And so no wonder they love that dude.
Yeah, obviously.
It just makes sense. But that story is so good.
Yeah.
But I feel like once you get the story tight, how nice is it that you've got 20 minutes of good material?
Oh, that's amazing.
In one story that you don't have to remember or memorize.
Not only that,
just tell the story.
Not only that, you're known for that.
Yeah.
So you never really have to have, like, you always have 20 minutes or 15 or whatever it takes of gold in every set you do, in every Netflix special, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good.
No, it's awesome. I feel like a lot of really good comedians are really good storytellers, right? So it's like, if you got a good story, you don't have to memorize stuff. You just tell the story.
Well, and he actually talks about that he feels like podcasting is what made storytelling more of a part of comedy, more of an acceptable part of comedy. And it was just getting popular when he started telling the story. And so he says that, like, 10 years earlier, I don't think it would have worked, even though it's a funny story. Like, it wouldn't have worked on a stand-up set, But because of podcasting, because people watch this shit because it's funny, right? It's made it more of a part of typical stand-up. So I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
Very enlightening.
Yeah. And I just feel like it's just less to have to memorize, learn, and write to. Just make the story funny, and it's so long of a story, and it's just got it's so interesting.
Right. Yeah. It is funny.
Yeah. He's a good storyteller. That's kind of his style too. Like I saw. I've watched them all several times, but I went back and watched something he had done a little while ago, and it's the story about, I don't know if you ever saw this. He goes to like the kids' school fundraiser where they're selling raffle tickets.
Oh,
for these
yeah.
prizes.
This is a great story, too.
Dude,
yeah.
that is so damn. And he
Fucking
buys,
hilarious.
He's talking to his
Buys
buddy
them all.
who runs the thing, and like he had sold 20
You
tickets.
can't sell any more.
Yeah, they wanted to sell 150, and they had sold 20. He's like, I'll buy the rest of them, but you can't sell any more.
You can't sell one more.
And wins almost every fucking prize,
Yeah.
except for the last one that his wife won.
Yeah.
That's
Hilarious.
another 50-minute story.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't got to that. I haven't gotten to the level where I can make a long story that funny.
Have you seen the part where he's at the auction with his daughter and they're bidding
Yes.
something like it was on a snow cone machine or something stupid? And his daughter,
She really wanted it.
she goes, do we have enough money? And he's like, Mom's not here. We got enough money for anything in here.
Right. We have no common sense here. We're going to kill it. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, the storytelling thing is someone's got a comedy special called Mostly Stories. Is that Kreischer?
I don't know.
It's someone.
It's a girl who tells a lot of stories too. I mean, his are shorter though, way shorter.
Yeah.
But yeah, to tell a story that really builds up, right?
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of like my original with the necrophilia, you know?
Yeah.
That has the story at the end, but the story took a while to build up and be funny.
Yeah, I really like the thing about one of your best stories that you told is the dude breaking into your house and you hitting with a golf club.
That was the necrophilia story.
Oh, that is that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the slice thing is what makes that for me. Like that.
Yeah,
version.
that part's funny. See, I
awesome.
almost took that out because I didn't think
you
it was very
can't.
funny.
No, and he fell straight back, which is great because normally I have a slice. Dude, that's fucking great. Everybody gets that.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts of the joke.
And then the cop,
yeah.
it's clearly self-defense, but why does he have semen all over him? The officer just killed a man. He needed some kind of sexual release.
That's so good.
And then it reverts back to this guy knows what I'm talking about, which
Yeah.
is that was actually a pretty well put together set.
That's a great story. Like that whole thing is good. I love that. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, my
It's half controversial, but you know.
well, it was controversial, but it's funny. The feedback that I got last time was just like, sprinkling some more quick hitters in that
Yeah.
time. So that's really what I'm working on is I want to get way more laughs than I did last time, and I'm going to be a little quicker with it.
Well, and yeah, I mean, I think that you could work some of the other stuff. See, this is one problem that I think you and I have fallen into at times is if some of a set doesn't work, we throw out the whole fucking thing and or if we're trying to do something new, we try it all new. And I think that's something that both of us could do better at is preserving things that do well.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to incorporate something like if it's a 8-minute set or whatever, incorporate 2 minutes of new,
Yeah.
right? And then evaluate, and then that's the normal process for marketing. That's what we do with campaigns and shit is like, let's not change everything. Let's change one part,
Isolate variables.
optimize. Yeah. Let's see what worked.
Yeah.
And I think that could be applied to comedy for sure. It probably should be. We're just too dumb and ADD to fucking do it that way.
Yeah. I did that one time and it does work better. And there's something about knowing that you're not going to do a full new set without ever getting feedback or knowing what's good. It's nice to have stuff but I can do a better job of incorporating a lot of those things. And I think that's it's funny you should say that because that's exactly what I'm going to be doing in my next 2 gigs is taking what worked in my last set and adding jokes along
Well,
the
and
way.
I think what worked are you talking about your last set as far as the one that you did last time?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I think you could also incorporate some of what you did before. I know that you're tired of some of those jokes, but the audience isn't necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not going to go that far back until I've got way more time and I need to build that in. I know that I've got that good. Mm-hmm. So I really want to focus my time on nailing another 10 minutes of stuff.
Yeah. Maybe I should go back to maybe I should try to incorporate the necrophilia, that one story.
That one
right?
story's good.
I just need to set it up with, necrophilia is not bad. Or I don't. That's the problem. Is the rest of the fucking set like that was probably a 1.5-minute story, right? But the whole other rest of it was to set up why I was going to say something like this. But maybe I should just not worry about it.
Yeah, and I think you just
maybe
tell
I don't
the
need to
story.
set up anything
No,
about
I think
necrophilia.
you
Just
tell
hey,
the story.
just
so this fucking happened.
beat a man to death with a golf club. I needed a sexual release.
Yeah, dude broke in. I had a golf club, and dude, you should. I think you should because that's the funny part of that set.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I think that could work for sure.
I think so too.
Now the real end of that story was it was someone who my cousin went to church with, who I mean, he didn't nut all over him, but he basically beat a guy to death that was breaking into his house. And maybe I shouldn't say this. It's not funny, but it turned out that the guy was mentally ill, and just legitimately probably thought it was his. Like, he lived in the same floor plan, like 5 houses down.
Just came into the wrong house.
And just came, but broke in. I mean, broke the door down. So
Oh well. That would make me get aggressive too. Like
I mean, the guy was traumatized by it, and my cousin, being the sick fuck that he is, was laughing in his face and would bring it up every time he saw him.
Remember when you almost killed a guy?
No, not almost.
Oh, did kill him?
He beat him to death.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, maybe it's not as funny as to most people, but it is kind of funny because it's so dark. So dark.
I like how we just went from like, oh, this part of the set would be good to, no, I know a guy who physically beat a man to death. I'm like, holy fuck, did you 180 on me? Not only did you paint this room dark, so is your soul.
No, it always has been, though. Nothing's new there.
No, black hole. That's funny. So did he beat him to death with his hands, or did like with something?
I don't know.
Like bludgeon him with it?
I don't know. The point was, the guy, he had young children in the house. The guy broke through the front door, and
hey man, I don't blame anybody for aggressively defending the family.
The funny part to me was that the guy was telling the story like it was so sad, and my cousin was laughing in his fucking face.
Well, if, you put yourself in that position, like you wonder, like, okay, if you actually killed him, you probably could have lightened up at some point in the beating, right? But I also think you get into some sort of animal fucking mentality where you just lose your shit. And
and I mean, I know he didn't stab him or shoot him or anything. I mean, he was beating to death, but at the same time, I mean, if you had a big object or something, you'd crack someone. Like maybe he did hold back, and it just got the right shot in. I don't know.
I mean, you got a 10-pound dumbbell laying next to you or something that's not going to take a lot of shots to a dude's head.
I've been hit in the head quite a bit in my life, but and I've maintained fine. But I think it could just take the right angle.
Mostly with dicks,
giant ones, giant black cocks.
Being the axle in the wagon wheel.
Oh man, did I tell you about? It was 2 times ago when I was in Mexico and I fell down the stairs.
Yes.
No, that was.
That's funny. Dude,
speaking of just taking a beating for no reason.
Yeah, dude, that's falling downstairs sucks. I've done it a few times. I still to this day have like anxiety when I get on or off an escalator, because not only are those stairs, they're fucking metal. And I saw a video of my worst fear. This older woman. This is, again, I'm gonna laugh at it, but it looked really sad. She fell trying to get on an escalator, and it just keeps going up, and she just keeps. She looks like she's in a washing machine, and she just keeps tumbling. Dude, it felt like it went on for minutes. I'm sure it was probably 30 seconds, but this woman just kept getting tossed.
It's amazing.
End over end. Finally, a dude, and it's not someone down on the floor where she's going up. Some dude has to run down the up escalator because he's already on it to try to get to her, and she's just. I
had a situation where I was at the airport. Flying with my kids to fucking wherever, and they were young, and I've got 2 giant fucking bags, and one that's strapped to one of the big ones too, and so I was like, all right, come on, so I'm trying to get them on the escalator, and I get it all on, and my daughter literally walks up and stands at the end and is too scared to step on it, and now I'm halfway up this giant. I'm like, get the fuck up here. And then she starts crying because I've left her.
Yeah, and she's terrified.
And I can't leave because I can't even walk with these stupid fucking things, with the bags, and not the daughter, but the bags.
But I had my luggage. Did she get on?
No, I ended up having to come back down. She's bawling. Just standing.
You're yelling at her to make it worse. She's so scared now. Now Dad's mad. That's funny.
And I really was pissed.
She still thinks about it.
Yeah.
To this day, for sure. Isn't it weird? Like that shit, there's just certain things that stick with you forever.
Forever. Yeah.
Forever. And you still think about certain things. That there's so many things that I.
Good and bad.
Yeah, both ways that run across that were just formative.
Or funny. you know?
Or funny stuff counts. Like, you know what I mean? Or just something that you saw, or like I will remember just profound things that somebody said to me in passing. And I'll remember I forget all this shit in my life, but I'll remember just weirdly profound thing that someone told me 30 years ago. And I still think about it.
Yeah. That got kind of deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I remember from when I was a kid, I was in kindergarten, and it was the day that my mom had my youngest brother. And the teacher's aide knew my mom. And so she comes up to me and she goes, Jimmy, did your mom have the baby? Which was a scheduled C-section, so obviously she had it. And she goes, what is it? I go, it's a boy. And she goes, what? I said, it's a boy. And she said, what? And all I could think, because I remember exactly what went through my mind, I'm not repeating myself again. Which, as a 5-year-old, I feel like that's
to an adult.
Yeah. I just said, I don't know. I have no idea.
That's amazing.
Bitch.
She's like, what?
Yeah, you should have listened the first 2 times.
Dude, so my mom told me this story not too long ago, and I had forgotten all about it. I think that I remembered pieces of it, but kindergarten just triggered me to think about this. No, it wasn't even kindergarten. It was nursery school. So, like, right before you even go to regular school. So, what are you, 4, 5, some shit like that?
Whatever.
And I guess my mom was taking me to go to a nursery school when I was a kid. And the first thing I did when I saw, some kids are the new kid and you're shy going to do this for the first time, right? You're all scared and nervous. Evidently, I just walked up and started hugging kids because I was so excited to see it. I think it's because I was an only child. Yeah. So I think that I was so excited to have other kids around me.
You were the weirdo.
I was the weirdo. Yeah. And hence the weirdo and weirdo.
Still are.
Yeah. And so I literally was hugging these kids. It happens, and I made them cry. I was a huge kid too. Like I grew really fat, like early. I was always the tallest kid in my grade. You know what I mean?
You're still the tallest kid in this room.
Still the tallest. And so I guess I was going around just hugging all these kids. I think they were scared because some person they don't know has picked them off the ground and scared them like fucking baby Huey, right?
Yeah.
And they were literally scared and crying, and they wouldn't let me go to school there. They're like, he can't come here until he can behave
big,
himself.
Dumb, and aggressive. Yeah.
I will love him and pet him and call him George. It's like I'm bear hugging these fucking 4-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Their feet are dangling, and they're just like, who is this mongoloid?
Your demeanor has not changed either.
No, I'm still the same way. I will still do it. I will still do it if I meet you now. But my mom was like, yeah, we had to like wait until the next session of this school and have you calm the fuck down so you could even be in a social setting, you goddamn psychopath.
Is that your phone that beeped?
Oh, I don't know. I thought I had it off.
Normally we shut those off, but
yeah, I thought it was off. Sorry.
That doesn't matter.
No, I don't think it was
I'm not pissed about it.
I don't think it was me.
Oh. I wonder if it was, sometimes I get texts that come through on my computer, but it's closed.
It was totally me, another bullshit fucking text message.
Yeah.
All these spammy texts I keep getting.
Fuck those. All right, I think we're at a good spot to end it.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and close off for this one, and we'll do it again here soon. We need to go through the clips, though, too.
We should do that
sometime.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Sounds good.